Good morning. We may regret not getting the door in yesterday because I don't know if you can hear the noise. It's pouring rain, so I'm gonna get wet. Just a quick plan for the day. Job number 1, lintel. Job number 2, door. Job number 3, framework and door. Probably a lot for one day, probably a lot considering the weather, but we'll give it a go. It's 2 of us, so we'll try and split it up and get as much done as we can, and I'll get my rain jacket out. Can't wait. Right, job number 1 is done. So we have put the lintel in, we've got the acros supporting the timber while we put this in. Took a brick out there, slotted this in, went in really nicely. We had to pack it out a little bit to lift it up and make it tight to the timber. But now we've obviously mortared in and packed it in, it looks alright. So still got a bit of room for the timber head for the door, which is good. So let that go off for a few hours, and we're going to go on to job number 2, which is cutting from the outside. So we're just going to go and set this time lapse up outside and start marking out and cutting that. Smart. Update. So I am not a builder. May seem obvious to many watching this, but hey, I'm not a builder, so this is very pleasing for me to have measured up this door, cut the opening and fitted it, and it's literally millimeters to spare. You can see there's a tiny little gap where it slid in nicely for silicone and obviously fixings and packing and stuff, but it's absolutely beautiful to see it just slot in like that. We did have to take a little lump of cement out that was getting in the way. You'll notice there's a bit of faff on the time lapse trying to get the door in, but once that little lump of cement was removed, it just slotted in absolutely perfectly. So well happy with that, well happy. Over here, got the framework going in. So again, going a bit overboard with fixings. Got some big chunky fixings into the brickwork. But obviously, what I don't want is when this door gets opened and closed in future, it to start rattling and cracking and all that sort of stuff. So I am going a bit nuts with fixings. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going to put 2 down here. I've got big screws going in here. I've got 2 in here. Probably going to put another one in. Going to put at least 2 in there. So yeah, and I'm going to actually put another bit of framework in here, and then I'm going to nog in it as well, just so it's completely solid. So yeah, it's going all right. Obviously, this is the end of day 3 and still not quite there, but Got another couple of hours to go yet, so we'll see how we get on. Good morning. Bit of an update. Day 4 of the 2-day job. Doors in. So very happy with that. Bit of a mess on the outside, brick dust and God knows what else. Got to have a good clean up out here. But yeah, it's looking alright. Ran out of fixings, so we only had 12 frame fixing. I'd already used a bunch of them on the framework in there, so I've only got 4 in this door. I need to put in 4 more, which I'll be doing today once I've got to the shop. So very, very happy with that. It's gone in lovely. Got the glass in, got the panel in. So now I need to make all this good inside, bit of plasterboard. I've got to seal it all up, etc. So very happy. This has gone off well as well, so feels like that's now a good job with the lintel in there, very solid. And then just need to finish off this framework and then get this all boarded up, get the door frame in there, and hopefully by the end of the day hang the door. So I'm not the quickest, but I think that's achievable for today, so I'll get some time lapse on and you can watch me battle a door hang. That's the little plan that I drew yesterday. DIY. There's the setup. So yeah, let's get it on. So, we're getting on okay. Got the frames are in, so this is nice and solid. Just putting the frame of the door in. I spent quite a bit of time making sure it's lovely and square, so test will be that when I put the door in, I don't have to do any trimming on the door, shouldn't have to. So yeah, if you look here, I've actually put this proud so that we've got room for plasterboard and a skim. So it's obviously quite a lot of making good to do here, but I'm going to put some plasterboard in here so that we've got the same gap up here, so that you can see we've got room for plasterboard and the skim on top. Just had to go out and buy some more stuff. So Wicks and Screwfix is like sweet shop for me. So fix-ins, picked up some little clamps, and I love wind tools, so these are really handy, like £3 each, brilliant. And then I also got to get some more drills, so can't beat a bit of Bosch. As you'll probably notice, all my stuff is Bosch, love it. Yeah, so those fixings I've got to put another 2 in here, so I've got one at the top, one at the bottom, but we ran out, so I've got to put one here, one below that hinge, one above that hinge, and then gonna put another one above and below the latch on the door as well, so we'll have 4 on each side. I've also bought some blue grit so that I can blue grit all of this, because it's going to need to be bonded in, plasterboard dab, so not quite sure I'm going to close this off yet. I might use a bit of timber, or I might even just gap fill it, maybe, don't know, I haven't decided yet. So yeah, I'm obviously going to have to put a bit of plasterboard in the top as well, and then the same problem this side. Got to close that cavity up and then board it in. So lots to do, but we're getting there. So, where are we? So the whole plan here was make this 15 mil wider than this opening to give us room for plasterboard. So I've just cut a piece of plasterboard and I've had to trim down, because that's going to have to somehow sit in there. May well feel to some people watching that I'm overcomplicating everything, but it's not obvious to me how to fix that in there. So I'm thinking about fixing a piece of timber to the back of this and then maybe drilling through from the outside, or just dabbing it, but I don't know. I'll update on that later. So I've cut that piece, going to cut another piece for this side. I've just got the, it's a bit of a mess, so cutting the plasterboard, and then I want to get this boarded up and then get the door in. So this is all finished now, it's all fixed, the frame's fixed. I'm really happy how solid it is, it's really solid, so hopefully when India slams the door it won't rattle the whole house, which will be nice. Obviously got a bit of expanded foaming to do, and the other thing I haven't quite worked out yet is how I'm going to sort this transition out. So obviously we want the floor to run through. Eventually this really nice wood parquet is going to come up. We're going to try and reuse it elsewhere in the house, and we're going to have a nice tile coming all the way through here, because obviously that's going to be the kitchen, this will be utility, so we want it to flow through. These courses are very slightly different heights, so I'm not going to worry about it too much right now, but obviously need a plan about how I'm going to just leave this for the next period of time before we start doing the extension. So around this side, I think for this I'm just going to put some expanding foam down there, just temporarily, just to close the cavity up. I can then, you know, trim it and tidy it just for now, because ultimately this whole course is going to come out. The other thing that's a bit of a shocker is the soldier course is loose, so I'm probably going to have to put a piece of timber across there, not for structural reasons, but just because I don't want it to fall on my head when I'm, you know, walking through between the conservatory and the bedroom. So yeah, fun and games. Got soaking wet earlier because it is an absolutely minging day out there. It's horrible, but we're getting there. Ciao. Those with a keen eye may have noticed me faffing around down here with the frame. A good reason for that is because I forgot to fix this timber into this wall before I then fixed this frame in 90% of the way. So rather than taking it all out, I've routed, well not routed, but I've cut some holes with the with these tools into the frame, and then gone right the way through into this timber with a normal frame fixing, so I can plug those off, and then obviously the doorstop will go over the top and cover it up. That's the plan. But yeah, bit of a whoopsie, DIY, that's how it goes. Hello, where are we? We're still going. Yeah, I'm just fitting the door, so DIY warning. The way I do it, I use router to route out like I have here, roughly. Then I'll tidy up the edges with a chisel as best I can. Not the best with a chisel, but hey. You can see I've done hinges on the door, so fit all the hinges to the door first, and then I just like to open it up at 90 degrees like this, And then I put a packer under this end, and I put the doorstop under that end, pack that out if necessary, but in this case didn't need to. And then just offer it up to the frame, like here, and just make sure I've got at least 2 to 3 mil gap at the top, and that's a 5 mil packer at the bottom, so I know, hopefully, if everything's square, it will shut nicely. And actually we checked the top for level once it was offered up before I drew around the hinges, and it was perfectly level, so it's a good start. We'll see. We'll have the moment of truth in a minute when I've hung it, but yeah, I'm just routing out, just on that one, going to do the other two. I'll then tidy them up, push them into place, and then I'll screw them up, and we'll see if it shuts or not. And you'll see all that on a time lapse. See you in a bit. Nearly end of the day now. Fitted the trickle vent to the door, inside and out. Looks nice. Door's working lovely. Lock. Nice. Unlock. So, very happy with that. Got this door on. So, my chiseling skills, not the best, but pretty good. And that one, and that one. And the most important bit is the door doesn't swing. It's nice and square, and it shuts. So no door trimming required, which is nice. Got a bit of a bigger gap at the top than I would like. It's about 4 mil, so I would have liked that to have been a bit tighter, but to be honest, I've got a nice gap at the bottom as well, so by the time the stops are on, you won't even notice any difference. That's cool. I've done all the plasterboarding around here over the timber, so then plasterer's gonna have to just hardwall it all in, and I think, don't know, leave it up to the experts. I'm definitely not going to be having to go at plastering, that's for sure. And that's going to be about it for today. I think I might just do the handle so the door shuts, get the stops on, and then I think that's going to be it for today. Been a long day. Still haven't worked out how I'm going to fix these reveals. I've cut them so they're ready to go, but I don't quite know how I'm going to do that yet. So I'm going to blue grit all of this bare brickwork so that I can bond to it if I want to. So I'll do all that up there as well, ready for plastering. And then I'm also going to put an outside light in, so I'm going to drill a hole through and feed a cable up into the loft. And I'm also going to put an outside power socket on the outside of the house as well. So I'll bring those cables down now while I've got them. I won't connect them up top, I'll just leave them loose in the loft, but they'll be ready to go. So yeah, it's been a hell of a few days. Very happy.